Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What are some luxury items, which you never knew existed, which only the mega rich can afford, that blows your mind and you wouldn't mind having, or is just an example of how people have too much money and not enough sense? Seasonal furniture. Meaning their house is furnished multiple different ways, furniture included, and they pay someone to store it and swap it out a couple of times a year. Seems easier to just have a different house for every season. Right. Why use the same house all year round like a peasant? This guy's post from a few years ago was pretty eye-opening. He basically talks about the different tiers of wealthy people and the things you can buy at each level. Till that 9 mil doesn't even register as wealthy. It still is, but you couldn't waste it mindlessly, I assume. I dated a lady, college-aged, for a bit, whose dad had a jet. Her parents have been getting divorced for almost half her life, lol. Oil and gas. She babysat Bush Jr.'s grandkids. She was really down to earth, saw how money fucked up her parents. I enjoyed my time with her, even though it was short. Wow, I loved at the end how he compared the prices of things to an average salary. Like the $10,000/night hotel to a billionaire is the same as $1/night for an average income. Like when I see someone driving a $200,000 car, I think about how much good that money could do so many people, but instead they chose to buy themselves a car they don't need. But when 200 Kelvin is the same as $20 to the average person, I can kind of get it. It's like they've forgotten the value of a dollar. Itk. Really eye-opening. I mean, it's one banana, Michael. How much could it cost? $10. I knew a family that had a lot of household staff, including a person who had the responsibility of setting up, troubleshoot, and get this, charge all their personal electronic devices. Yes, their job included charging all the electronic devices. Charging is easy, but man, I can see having a personal tech support person. Asterisk says while shooting daggers at the wireless printer that only works when connected to USB asterisk. One of the advantages of being poor is that there is only one place for my printer, which is on my desk, right next to my computer. I don't trouble myself with wireless printer technology. Michael Bay on the Island commentary. He knows about a wealthy prince, who he won't name, who has his own 747 jet complete with a surgery unit on the top floor. Inside there at all times is a 24-year-old man with the same blood type whose family has been paid off so that when the prince's heart gives out, surgeons can perform a transplant from the younger man. I can credibly tell you that this is dead true, but I'm not gonna tell you the country where it's from, but I know people who've actually been on the plane, and I know people who've actually met the kid. Removed. Well, any Gulf country really. But yeah. I just can't fathom this. I hope they at least have an artificial heart for the young man at the ready, something, with all of that money. It's Saudi Arabia. Those guys are so rich it makes the Monopoly man look like a hobo. If there was an artificial heart capable of it, the prince wouldn't need the kid's heart at all. No, that boy's family has been paid for him to die. Damn, imagine that kid watch the prince order 5 guys. Dupont Registry. People buy items, never taking possession of them, just to have their name listed as the owner in the various registries. The actual item just sits in a vault someplace, with owners changing every so often and likely never actually seeing it in person. Dupont is just one of the more widely known ones. Edit, this is why I love Reddit. When I first heard about these setups, I just automatically assumed it was simply for bragging rights. It never even occurred to me that it may just be an investment vehicle or money laundering setup. Of course, that's probably why I'm not one of the super wealthy engaging in this. Also kinda like my Steam library. I'm in this photo and I don't like it. Isn't that an NFT? This reminds me of the free ports in Tenet, which are of course based on a real thing. https://artlaw.org/2020/11/03. Art and other valuable goods like antiquities get stored in warehouses, frequently located at shipping ports or similar places, in order to avoid customs. Rich people own these goods but only go visit them at the free port, so they don't have to pay taxes on them. In some cases the owner may never actually see the art in person, it's just a chit of value they trade with other rich people. When something doesn't make sense and super rich people still do it, it's probably used to launder money. My cousin's mansion has heated floors in the garage. He said it sounds really stupid, but when the weather is freezing, he just turns on the floor heat a few minutes before he's ready to leave and it warms up his car so he doesn't have to. Like, I don't personally need that in my life, but if I had it, I would use it. Edit, okay, I get it, they're not just for rich people. I'm from an area where it doesn't usually get cold enough for heated floors to be a practical / necessary expense, so I guess that's why I considered it a luxury. There's an area not far from where I am that's built on a mini mountain. It's not technically a mountain, but it's very steep and gets snowy. Steep roads, steep driveways. People there have heated driveways so they don't have to shovel it or have it freeze over. Many of them just leave it on when it gets close to zero because they don't want to wait if they want to go somewhere outside of their regular commuting time. And it's not like they are 3 to 5 m parking driveways, they are proper 20 to 50 m. I don't want poor people to be able to see my house from the road gated driveways. If you've never had to shovel a steep driveway, it sounds stupid. But if you've slipped on a patch of ice while shoveling and slid 4 feet on your face, or been unable to get up your driveway when you've been gone for a few hours and it's been snowing, it's a more reasonable expense, haha. I watched a documentary once on food rich people eat, and there was a place that provided caviar that came from get this sturgeons that get played live jazz music. Recorded jazz music wasn't good enough, it had to be performed live by a pianist. Live jazz. For fish. Imagine being the guy that plays the piano for a bunch of sturgeons in a tank and explaining this to your date. Mayo. I play jazz for a sturgeon caviar producer, my wife creates dresses out of pool leaves, our budget is 3 mil. The wealthy version of a public storage unit. An exceptionally wealthy family I know refers to a wing of the local art museum as their public storage unit. They funded the wing to store their huge collection of classic and modern art since it was more practical than private storage. It included a climate-controlled, 24/7 secure location managed by professionals. Plus, the curators would handle the swapping out of pieces to / from the museum and the home when they needed a different style or era to fit the mood of the next dinner or event at the house. Which was funny because sometimes the swaps would introduce a dozen or so pieces not before displayed at the museum, essentially creating a new exhibit that the museum would package and promote. Behind the fuss, the family just wanted to create the right ambience for Grandma's 80th birthday party. I agree with the other comments that this one has a nice practical upside for the family and the public. For whatever reason though, the amount of wealth represented by this arrangement seems truly staggering. As I'm a plumber, I recently installed a smart shower which I've known about. But this one had 2 rainfall heads, 8 body sprays. The unit also has a sauna steamer built in and can connect to your phone. So when you're driving down your street you can pick the aroma you'd like and set the temp of your shower so when you walk in it's just ready for you. Smart shower. Is the water stored in the cloud? My in-laws have a rich friend who wrote a movie glamorizing her own life, produced and starred in said movie, got a famous retired actor to play her father, got her son's model girlfriend to play her younger self, and gave us all the DVD and a collector's book for the holidays. It was the most cringe movie we've ever watched. Edit, I forgot to mention that she also tracked down some singer she used to be a fan of back when she was a kid. She got this poor woman, now old and retired, to cameo in her movie where she had to listen to our rich friend sing one of her old songs and tell her how talented she is and how she totally could have had a singing career if she hadn't become a rich businesswoman instead. The former singer was so not into it and was clearly doing it for a paycheck. Please share this with the world. That sounds awful. Please tell me that I can find it somewhere on Amazon Video. I think a copy needs to end up at Red Letter Media. Sounds like something Moira Rose would do. It's almost exactly what Alexis did with her music video. Moira was actually accomplished. I have never been more compelled to watch a movie in my life. Me too, I'm dying over here. I used to work for an engineering firm and we did the engineering, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, fire protection, for high-end residential in NYC. There was a client who owned a floor in an apartment building on Central Park West. The people below him moved out so he bought that floor to host parties. He had a 6-thick sound and vibration dampening system installed on that level so he wouldn't bother the people that lived below. The building was old and the existing elevator would not stop the additional 6 higher on that floor only, so he installed a new elevator in the building. He also paid for French plasterers to come and live in NYC while they do the ornate plaster crown molding in the apartment. Wow, what a nice guy doing that for his neighbors. Yay, I was going to say. Obviously they are stupid rich and that's a bit extravagant, but they are very considerate at least. Some of Tiffany & Company's Everyday Objects series, but especially this sterling silver coffee can for $1,550. I understand that it's an art object, and that silver is expensive, but the risk of tossing this thing out with the recycling is way too high. I wasn't expecting to literally just be a regular looking can with no lid. For those who look at their coffee cans and say, these cans would be better if they could tarnish. Imagine being the maid who has to polish the can.